Hello, and welcome to episode 352 of the Casual Tryhard podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm James.
and today we are going to talk about Lorwyn Eclipse limited mechanics.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like a whole episode's worth. We're only doing allied color pairs here, so we're gonna kind of get through these, and maybe we'll have some time at the end to talk about some cube stuff.
Yeah, and the cube stuff's pretty interesting. I've
Yep.
played a few drafts of the new cube, so that's pretty all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what that means? That means next week we're starting single card evaluations and talking about some of the cards in the set. So,
Woohoo!
if you have some suggestions for things you want us to talk about, or things you think are neat, or like, hey, does this work with this other card from like a million years ago? Let
Yep.
us know. So reach out: Facebook, Discord, Twitter, email, X, Blue Sky, all those places. Come in, say hey, uh, and let us know what you want us to talk about.
Absolutely. I will probably. Well, you guys will be hearing this on Friday, so over the weekend, so you don't have a whole lot of time. I will be getting my list together, and we'll start recording on Monday. So get your lists in. Anything you guys want to hear about, like Brian said, all those links are down below. I know I got some cards I want to talk about. I'm sure you got some cards you want to talk about, and we always like to talk about cards our listeners like to want to hear about also. If you want to support the show, you can do so via our Patreon, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Surf on over there, chip a couple bucks in, you'll get access to our show notes, so you get kind of a sneak peek about what the episode's going to be about for the week. Even though we were kind of joking in the unshow that we have kind of a cadence now, where it seems like all we do is our regular episodes about sets because they come out so often, which is all right. Most of that stuff I enjoy doing anyway, so um,
It gives a structure.
it gives us structure. Yeah, that's for sure. Um, but it'll also give you a list for you to follow along if you want to, so you don't have to, just listen and hang on her every word. You can kind of follow along with the show notes and know where we're going. You'll also get access to the aforementioned unshow every week before we start recording this show. We spend about an hour making sure our equipment works. Sometimes our hardware works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes our software works, sometimes it doesn't. And we always need to catch up a little bit because we don't see each other anywhere near as often as we used to. So we spend about an hour before every show catching up, making sure everything is at least hopefully appears okay. And we also record that and send it out there for our patrons. We never know what we're going to be talking about, so you guys are never going to know what we're going to be talking about. Could be all manner of things. Sometimes it's magic related, sometimes it's not. It's always interesting though, and our patrons really seem to like it. So if you're interested in that, or if you're interested in the show notes, or if you just want to support the show, like I said, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, support the show, get more of us. We would appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So we have. They said we only have the 5 allied colored pairs.
Yep.
And they are each tied to a type, a creature type.
Yeah, more or less. When I read this, I was expecting for it to be more of like a, well, I guess you can't call it tribal themed anymore, but typal themed.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started going through some of the signposts, they're a lot less typal than I thought they were going to be. So,
Yeah.
and I haven't looked at, like, I know the whole set like just was spoiled a couple days ago. I haven't looked at the whole set list yet, so maybe there are some more typal synergies that I just haven't seen yet. But at least as far as the article was concerned and what the signposts show, I didn't really see a ton of like typal synergies.
Yeah. There's not a lot of. It's not super loud.
Yeah.
It's not like, even though some of the signposts kind of make it feel like, like for the elementals, like, oh hey, like this, like there's it's not that like in your face about the different types.
Yeah.
And I was surprised that we only have the 5 draft archetypes
Yeah.
because like during the spoiler season, which was a week,
Hmm.
thanks Wizards, uh, there are a lot of giants
Yeah.
in white. There's
And fairies.
uh oh oh is fairies not oh fairies isn't listed. That's so weird.
Yeah.
Like did they like? It almost feels like they like just didn't realize how many draft archetypes they had. Because like
I'm
yeah,
not
like
sure.
the fact that there's not fairies, like
Yeah.
there are so many fairies, and there's like a gold uncommon that is like here's the thing you do with fairies. So it's very weird.
Yeah.
Very
I
weird.
mean, maybe there's some hidden archetypes.
I think there is.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can talk about that when we're done with these 5 then.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna start with blue white merfolk.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a variety of tricky tapping synergies to cast your spells for cheap or disrupt your opponents. So white has convoke spells,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are some cards that like care if they become tapped, or if they, or that, as in the case of our signpost uncommon, untap things.
Yep.
So you have Deep Channel Duelist. It's white blue for a Merfolk soldier. It's a 2/2. At the beginning of your end step, untap target Merfolk you control. Other Merfolk you control get +1/+1. So it is the standard Merfolk Lord, but it then untaps something, which with Convoke is just an extra mana.
Yeah. Did you like my show notes here?
What does tricky tapping stuff mean?
Yeah, I have like this seems like a really weird archetype. Like I mean obviously you're going to be tapping and untapping things, and like we have had some cards going back to like Throne. I think they kind of started in Throne, where there were some cards that cared about like you tapping and untapping things a little bit. In blue and white there were some cards.
So there's a white rare Merfolk that other tapped creatures you control have indestructible.
Yeah.
So like, hey, I care that you were tapped somehow. I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that just jump out like lower rarities. Here's one that's it's a 1 and a white for a 5/4, but it comes in with 3 -1/-1 counters on it. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, if it has a -1/-1 counter on it, remove a counter. So if you can convoke
Okay.
or attack,
You can get rid of some blight
convoke
stuff.
yeah, it will like get bigger. So there are like some things.
This just seems like a really I'm going to say tricky, but like I that's not really what I mean. Like archetype to draft. Partially because normally when we get a signpost, it either does both halves or is the payoff, because like that's what it wants to tell you it's working towards. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think this is really a payoff.
No, I think the payoff is you're blue and white and you have a bunch of merfolk, so here's a lord.
Yeah.
But the like activate the triggered ability of untap a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like woo, I'm so glad I have this. Like it
Well,
almost feels like that line of text is like just trinket text.
Yeah. But that's kind of like the point of a signpost, though, is it's supposed to guide you to what the archetype's trying to do. And this, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe it'll play completely different, but at least when I'm looking at this card, this is more of an enabler than a payoff, so it kind of leaves what you're supposed to be doing kind of up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like the ability could be like tap 2 merfolk, draw and then discard.
Sure.
Or something. At least then that's telling you, hey,
yeah,
you want to be tapping merfolk.
Right.
Because again, there's a merfolk that when this creature becomes tapped, you gain 2 life.
Yeah.
So like, hey, there's a bunch of merfolk that are like, oh, when this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. So there's a bunch of things that care that they're tapped.
Mm-hmm.
But this isn't like super exciting that you're like, oh,
I get to untap
I get
it.
to I get to untap it and do the thing again.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of like, hey, tap this, tap, do a thing on the Merfolk that I have seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's like another blue-white card, and this is again when the sets get hard when they have multiple gold cards. It's like a Convoke Merfolk. It's like blue-white, like 2 blue-white, blue-white, 3 blue-white, blue-white. For common, it's a 2/2 with flying and vigilance, and when this creature enters, create a 1/1 white and blue Merfolk creature token, and it has Convoke.
Okay.
I thought it created 2 1/1 white. That card's kind of awful.
Yeah. Normally, like when we're talking about tapping, untapping synergies, like the first thing that would come to mind is like vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a good way to tap your creatures. And I get like Convoke kind of fills the same role, but not the same way.
Yeah.
Like Convoke is only going to happen when you cast a Convoke spell.
It's not like you have this repeatable
Right.
source of tapping.
There's no vehicles in this set.
There are not. The cars did not make it to Lorwyn, thankfully.
Yeah. So like that's kind of awkward, I think. One thing that I will mention might be a synergy to look out for. I mentioned this card in the unshow, kind of not really surprised to see it in this set, but it's a welcome reprint, is Springleaf Drum. That's going to be a way for you to kind of get ahead here and get ahead on mana and also trigger some of your tap untap shenanigans, whatever those happen to be.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good point because I had forgot about the Springleaf Drum, but that is a way to get a repeatable tap.
Yeah.
That you know, like once you have it out, every turn you get to trigger whatever that tap synergy is.
Yep.
And I guess ramp you a little bit as well.
So what kind of deck is this going to be? I know blue-white traditionally is like a control deck, but this almost seems like it's going to be more tempo.
Tempo or like maybe even like go wide to some degree.
Okay.
Right, because there is, I do believe there's like a Trumpet Blast, like the white version, like whatever that.
Okay.
Like a Rally of the Peasants, I think. Yeah, but it feels more like go wide. Like you have a Lord.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of like creatures of the same type. I guess there isn't a like traditional Trumpet Blast. There's a 1 or 2 creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn, and it's 3 and a white with Convoke.
Okay.
At instant speed, so like you attack and you use your creatures that are left back to like get the other ones through and hopefully get some tap bonuses.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it doesn't feel good. The signpost does not feel like super strong.
Yeah. And I mean, I didn't have a ton of time to go through and look at some of the other signposts or see if there was a different signpost, but like this is the one that Wizard said was the signpost for this archetype. So
yeah, well, the issue is for the supported archetypes, there is an uncommon for each creature type.
Okay.
That is like it enters, look at the top 4, put a creature or a land from the type in.
So that eats up a slot.
So that's for all of them. And then there's a common of every color pair that's hybrid as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of weird. But yeah, I agree. Not the strongest of signposts. What is our goblins one?
So this says throw boggarts at every problem. Find ways to put neg1 counters on your disposable goblin forces and reap the rewards. So this is going to be the Blight deck, for lack of a better term. We talked about Blight as a mechanic last week. Kind of like Convoke is pairing with the Merfolk to do whatever they're going to do. Blight's going to pair with the Goblins to do whatever the Goblins are going to do. The signpost we have here is Boggart Curse Crafter. Black-red for a 2/3 Goblin Warlock with Death Touch. Whenever another Goblin you control dies, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. So this, kind of like I was talking about with the previous signpost, this is your payoff. Like this tells you what the archetype's going to do. It's going to kill its own stuff.
Yes. Preferably, it's going to kill goblins.
Right. It's going to do that through blight counters. Like that's what it said, through neg1 counters. So hopefully you'll get some benefit, putting those counters on and or taking them off, or when the creature dies. This being a 2-mana 2/3 with Death Touch, that's a pretty aggressive body. So I'm assuming this is going to be an aggro archetype, aggro mid-range. Would be my guess here.
I mean, just like now the comparison came up from like Saffron Olive, and lifelink does matter, but Gifted Aetherborn has seen play for like going on a decade,
right?
As a 2-mana 2/3 with Death Touch,
right?
So the lifelink matters, but this is still a 2-mana 2/3 with Death Touch, like. It's just a good generic body
with extra text. I mean, you're doing something with your bodies. There's a bunch of stuff that makes like goblin tokens, which are basically disposable goblins. I think the little blurb there mentioned disposable goblins, and there's a bunch of stuff that makes tokens. So
2 creatures that there's the classic 3-mana 2/2 make a 1/1 goblin that makes 2 goblins, and then there is, I forget what it's called. It's an uncommon. It's 2 red for a 4/3 that Blight 2 makes 2 1/1 goblins.
Okay.
So when it comes in, if you Blight 2, you get 2 goblins. So at minimum, it's a 2/1 that makes 2 1/1s.
Yep.
Because if it wears the counters, but if you can, put those counters on a 1/1, now you get a 4/3. So not bad. So there are a lot of ways to get extra goblins. And then again, there is Eclipse Boggart, which is the uncommon that, again, it's Rakdos hybrid for a 2/3. And when it enters, you look at the top 4, you can put a goblin, a mountain, or a swamp into your hand.
Yeah.
So it kind of is enter, draw a card.
Yep.
Because, I mean, in a limited deck, if you somehow in your black-red I Care About Goblins deck don't have a goblin, a mountain, or a swamp in your top 4 cards, you have made a serious deck-building error.
Yeah, you've probably done something wrong.
And it is reveal a goblin,
right?
Not a goblin creature card.
Right.
So that would count things
your kindred
that
stuff.
have, the kindred stuff and any changelings.
Right.
So yes, you've made a huge mistake if you don't hit with this.
So, and you mentioned when we were talking about blue-white that there's a cycle of these. So there's one of these for each each limited archetype.
Yes.
I would venture to say that this one, the Eclipsed Boggart, is probably better than the rest, followed by the Eclipsed Elf, only because these are cards that replace themselves with another card, and it's a good place to put your blight token or your blight counters.
Yeah, because you've already got your value out of them.
Right. Whereas the Eclipsed Miro or the Eclipsed Kithkin, there's not a great thing to do with that body.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
It's also annoying that they did not make all the mana costs the same.
Yeah.
The Eclipse Flamekin, they made it 1. Is it? Just make it is it?
Well, and then you have a 2-drop. The Eclipse Kithkin is Selesnya.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why do you hate symmetry?
Right.
My Marrow has talked about Gristlebrand being annoying because it's 8 and 7 and 7 and 7.
Right.
Right. They should all have been 3 of the same mana cost, but whatever.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have the aforementioned, or did I do? Yeah, no, we have the aforementioned Kithkins.
Yep.
So use the power of shared consciousness to spread abilities among Kithkins. More Kithkins can play, the greater the thought weft grows. Ooh. So this is green, white, go wide?
Yeah, which
like
is
more
weird
steps.
because that's not like what it says. Like when you read that little blurb, it's like, oh, Kithkin are slivers now?
Yeah,
No.
that was when I first. No, it's more like. So what is our uncommon? Is it? Yep, that's cool. So thought left lieutenant is green white for a 2/2 Kithkin soldier. And whenever this creature or another Kithkin you control enters, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so there's a couple things that like, hey, when a creature comes into play, pump some things.
Yeah.
So
Like
that's basically the archetype.
so this seems closer to your typical like typal deck than some of the other archetypes that we've talked about, which is weird because that's what I was expecting for all of these. Like
Yes.
obviously I was expecting them to have their own flavor because, you know, a goblins deck obviously plays different than an elf deck, plays different than a merfolk deck, but this is really the only one that seems to do typical typal shenanigans.
Yeah, and which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a number of like cards that like, whenever a creature attacks alone, put plus make it bigger.
Yeah.
Where X is the number of Kithians you control. And so like this does feel like your normal like typal deck.
Yeah.
But whoever wrote their copy, I don't feel like they really like got the note on that these weren't slivers.
Maybe it was ChatGPT that did it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because like does not feel like it is what the deck is doing.
Yeah. So it mentioned that this is go wide. I don't know that this particular card screams go wide to me. But
I mean, it screams like put a bunch of creatures into play.
yeah, except like +1/+1 and trample is more of a go tall than go wide. Like go wide usually doesn't care about trample.
Fair.
Like
it usually cares more about trumpet blast, and I guess there's not really a trumpet blast. There's that like
the one that you mentioned
two
we were
creatures
talking
get
about
+2/+1, but there's not like like just 4 mana everything gets big. I don't think.
Yeah, and like that's not really a green thing. There is a 3 mana 3/3 with trample. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+0 till end of turn. So that's kind of the same card.
Yeah.
Same vein at least. Here's another one. It's a 4 mana 3/5 that can't be chump blocked. And as long as another creature entered, it gets +2/+0, so it's a 5/5. It's just weird that like they're giving all your go wide stuff evasion, either in the form of can't be blocked by creatures of power 2 or less, trample. Here's another one with trample.
Yeah, because like you feel like you would maybe. I mean, realistically, how many creatures can you have come into the battlefield in one turn?
Yeah.
2, maybe 3?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like, and then you have this big wide board, and when you have multiple creatures come in a turn, they're small. So yeah, like it feels like it's go wide, but then they were like, well, as you're going wide, you're going to make a tall threat.
Yeah.
Which is
it kind of seems like trample's the theme though, because here's another one. It's 2 green for a 0/0 with trample, and it gets +1/+1 for each creature you control and each creature in your graveyard. So it cares about go wide, but it's go tall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very weird.
Yeah. The archetype kind of feels at odds with itself a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're saying these are weird, but I guess it's better than just the like standard
go wide trumpet blast, make a bunch of tokens, trumpet blast.
Yeah, or green white +1/+1 counters is like the only thing that green white ever does kind of deal.
Yeah.
So I guess it's good that they're trying new things.
Sure.
Very diplomatic.
Just a
We're
little
trying
weird.
new things here. Yes.
Good job, Wizards of the Coast.
Good job. Way to really go out there.
We'll give you a silver
Branch
star. Not quite
Not
gold.
gold. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
You didn't do that good. Next up, we have Elementals. Burn bright like a flamekin. Cast big spells to unleash seismic elemental power. So I think we touched on this when we talked about mechanics last week, if I remember correctly. Elementals, the archetype is going to care about spells with mana value 4 or greater.
Yes.
The signpost we have here is Twin Flame Travelers. 2 blue-red for a 3/3 flyer. If a triggered ability of another elemental you control triggers, trigger it an additional time. Well, that doesn't...
What does this have to do with 4?
It costs 4 mana.
Mana cost, I guess. Like that's... It's so there's like a blue thing. It's like 3 and a blue if you like cast a spell with mana. So here's 2 and a blue. Elemental Wizard. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature gets +2/+0. So this, I guess, would let that trigger twice.
Yeah.
There is I think there's like 3 and a blue, 2/4. If you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, you get what's it called? You get to draw a card.
Okay.
Tenuful Rhyme Speaker is the card.
Yep.
And then yeah, and I think there's like a red one that like it domes someone if you like but it's a very weird signpost.
Yeah, it doesn't tell you what to do.
Yeah, it's just like if you've drafted these cuz like reading this card, you would feel like there would be a Risen Reef. Like the theme would be like when elementals enter, triggered ability happens.
Right.
Right? And there's a couple of them. But like you would think that there would be like 6 or 7 of them in the set.
Right.
Not like the blue mana war in the red like Flame Tongue Kavu with extra steps.
Yeah.
So it is a little or a lot weird that
it seems pretty weird. I really don't even see this archetype supported. Because like those are the only payoffs.
I think so.
There's a lot of enablers because you get all of the you get some of the convoke stuff that lets you cast stuff on the cheap but still have a high mana value. I saw a blue card that like costs less for your Vivid, which would let you cast something really expensive on the cheap.
And the common payoff is draw a card, discard a card, which is not that big of a payoff.
Yeah. So I guess I'm not really sure what this archetype is doing.
Like they're using Convoke as like the thing that enables it.
Yeah.
So like but then
like there
you're
isn't
kind
a payoff.
Yeah, like the loot or like the draw card. Is there like a deal damage one?
Yeah, there's a the red one that like domes your opponent or whatever.
Yeah. But they're not great, and it's different. Yeah, there is a deal damage one, yeah.
Yeah.
But like it's in Final Fantasy, they were really mindful of because it was like 4 mana non-creature spells. There was like all the equipment that were not creatures, so they triggered the thing.
Right.
There was like Call of the Mountain Chocobo that had flashback.
Yeah.
There was but like in this, it doesn't like. It seems like you might get like a couple triggers, but not like a ton.
Yeah, I don't think you can really build your deck around like the archetype. Like you're gonna build a blue-red deck and then like maybe backdoor your way into some synergy, but not build a CMC 4 or greater deck.
Yeah, it's super awkward and weird. I don't like it.
one of the thing that I put down in the show notes that I guess kind of makes sense here is I wanted to let everyone know that if this was the archetype, it's likely to have a really high curve and it'd probably be easy to get run over. So
Yes.
I was going to advise everybody to make sure they had some ways to stay alive in the early game. But I guess if you're only if this is only an archetype in a very loose sense of the word, then maybe you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. It feels very... So, we did say, or at least I did before Final Fantasy, that like we didn't think that archetype was going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended up being a pretty like functional archetype.
Yeah.
A lot due to like Sahagin and the fact that it felt like that they like had the payoffs and made the deck like make sense.
Yeah.
But this one feels just a little bit more scattered.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like there are as many cards at lower rarity that are there to kind of like grease the wheels. Because like Call of the Mountain Chocobo, to go back to it, 4 mana, get a mountain, make a 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
Now that mountain, now you are close to the flashback to trigger your stuff again, and it's giving you the mana to play your 5-drop to get your trigger. And this doesn't feel like you're getting that same thing. They're really counting on you having a bunch of convoke spells.
So the one thing that I will say that might be kind of fun, but is going to be a super fragile archetype, is so you have the 3 mana guy, Enraged Flamecaster, that whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. And then you have this Twin Flame Travelers, that's 4 mana, makes something trigger twice. You also have Kindle the Inner Flame at uncommon, 3 and a red for a tribal sorcery elemental.
Oh,
Make a token that's a copy of a creature, except it has haste, and sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. And it has flashback for 2. Like there's potential there to set up a pretty gnarly turn where you have the 3 mana guy out, you cast this on 4, and then like maybe if you had cast like the Flame Braider earlier, you could like kindle this guy and then flash it back, and like that would be a lot of damage all at once.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's definitely Magical Christmas Land, but
I mean, at least the 3/2 is a common, so you could like get multiples of them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can read into how they cost things. Right? It being a 3 mana 3/2 kind of leads you to believe that they want you to attack with it.
Yeah.
Where if it were a 3 mana 2/3, it'd be a more defensive thing where you sit back. So maybe the archetype is like you attack with your 3/2, you get a trigger off of this, they've taken 5.
That's true.
And then like the next turn, like maybe it's more of the 2 damage that you get is more of like chip damage.
Well, we were also talking in the unshow about like there's some 1 and 2 mana elementals that aren't embarrassing. So like that, maybe this is a little bit more of an aggro archetype, or like I think back in the day we used to call it like disruptive aggro, where you had like a beatdown game plan, but then kind of pivoted to either stop your opponent from doing whatever they were doing, or in this case, like set up a combo.
Yeah.
Finish the game off in some other way instead of your little chip shots.
Yeah, but like maybe it's like you get the game to like you get them to 8.
Yeah.
And then you like cast a couple spells to finish them off.
Yeah.
As opposed to casting a bunch of spells to finish them off, kind of deal. But it feels a little awkward.
It does. We have a little bit of extra time in today's episode, so I'm going to talk about one card here. Just because I think it kind of fits into like this archetype in particular. That way we don't have to talk about it when we're doing our card by card stuff. But that's Goat Nap.
Go nap.
2 and a red for a sorcery, gain control of a creature till end of turn, untap it. It gains haste, and if it's a goat, it also gets +3/+0 till end of turn. This card was, I won a bunch of games with it in the Modern Horizons limited GP that we were in, because if you target a shapeshifter with it, it gives it like a pretty significant bonus. And that might be another way to close out a game, where Act of Treason typically doesn't like make the card that you took twice as powerful.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big deal if you can tag a shapeshifter with it, because the shapeshifter's a goat.
Yeah, so right, usually like your opponent will Act of Treason you and you just let them whack you with your creature and then you get it back.
Right.
But it's harder to let them whack you with your creature when they also cast like a giant growth on it.
Right.
So yeah, that's a good thing. And there are a lot of shapeshifters.
And like some of them are pretty reasonable sized and not like embarrassing cards. So like that's gonna come up.
You're not, for a lot of them, you're not paying the like, I have an extra line of text tax.
Yeah.
They're just like the base rate that you've seen this card for before.
Yeah, I mean, was it Gangly Stompling 2 and Gruul for a 4/2 with Trample, and it's a changeling? I mean, if you goat nap that thing, you're swinging for 7.
But like, and like that card's gonna get played because it's usually 4/2 no text.
Right.
It's not 4/2 with like relevant ability to get through damage. Right, like you just can't, like you said, you just can't take 7.
Yeah.
So we had mentioned secret archetypes.
Yeah.
And this is why I was confused that there were only 5 archetypes, because if we are using uncommons as our guide, right, you have a 1 and triple Orzhov hybrid tree folk.
Yep.
That cares about neg1 counters.
Right.
So like, I thought that there was gonna be like a black-white remove neg1 counters deck. No. Like, or like weirdly like black-white tree folk or something, like they should be green, but whatever.
Well, I think the tree folk archetype was Abzan.
Before, with what's it, Doran?
Doran, yeah.
Then you have Glister Baron, Barn, 2 and Simic triple. So 2 Simic. For a 1/4, it's an oof. So not a supported creature type.
Right.
But it has Vivid, where at the beginning of combat on your turn, another target creature you control gets +X, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control.
Yep.
So this is, right, so it made me think, oh, is blue-green like the Vivid?
Well, or is blue-green
like
a 5-color archetype?
Yes, right? Like, is that what blue-green is? And then in original, like, Shadowmoor, Lorwyn, right, red-white was giants.
Yep.
And what do we have? We have a 3 Boros 6/7 giant that enters with 2 -1/-1 counters. And I was like, oh, another white card that cares about neg1 counters. Oh, neat. Okay. No, apparently those guys don't go together.
Right.
Right, and it's even like Boros, remove a counter from this creature. Another target creature you control gets +1/+0 and gets flying until end of turn. Hey, the black-white card wants me to remove counters too. Oh, neat. But I think it's that red is blight.
Yeah.
For the goblins, and black is blight, so they give you like just random body to put
hybrid cards that you could sneak into that deck.
But it feels like, so if you like crack your pack and you see Reaping Willow, the Orzhov card, you're like somewhere like the card is like a goblin's card,
right?
Or it's a Kithkin card,
right?
I think it's more goblin card.
I think so too.
And Hovel Hurler is a Goblins card or like a Kithkin like Merfolk card.
Mm-hmm.
And like both of those care about being able to get their creatures in, so I could see it being either one.
Yeah.
Right, where you just give something flying, like the card might actually be 3 white with a white activated ability.
Yeah.
Right, and then you've got Voracious Tome Skimmer.
The fairy.
A fairy.
Yep.
Fairy is not a supported archetype. Fairy is the most like iconic creature type. Like
from Lorwyn.
I think it's like
yeah,
like Kithkins and fairies are like what you associate with Lorwyn.
Yeah. I mean, I associate elves with Lorwyn, but that's besides the point.
But
yeah,
fair. But like fairies is like oh hey, we really need to like have fairies.
Well, I mean, there's a reason that Thoughtseize is a fairy in somebody's ear.
In a giant's ear.
Yeah.
But we have Voracious Tome Skimmer, Triple Dimir,
mm-hmm.
for a 2/3 flyer. When you cast a spell during your opponent's turn, you may pay 1 life. If you do draw a card, oh hey, we're doing fairies things. We're like tempoing and like casting creatures with flash and counter spells. Not technically a supported archetype.
Right.
So like, it's weird because like it feels like there's this whole other like set of archetypes
mm-hmm.
that should be there.
Right.
Because like you've got that thing, you've got Mischievous Sneakling, which is 1 in Dimir for a 2/2 flash changeling, so it's a fairy among other types.
Yep.
So like, hey, I've got a common that tells me to like play flash things. I've got an uncommon that tells me to play flash things. But there's not technically an archetype there, so it feels really
disjointed.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it like fully came together. And now I'm looking through. Yeah, there's another flash flying 3 mana 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fairy. Right, there's a flash, whatever, make something a 1/1.
Yeah.
In blue, so like it really feels like, hey, we're really doing the blue-black tempo flash thing, but it's not like technically a supported archetype.
Yeah, I mean, so that's kind of why I like doing these episodes, though, because like I would be confused at that. Like if I showed up to a pre-release and saw, like you mentioned, that 3 triple Dimir fairy, I'm like, oh, okay, we're in Lorwyn. Fairies are an archetype of Lorwyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I should draft around.
But
not a twin flame travelers here.
Yeah. But what's weird is, did we ever not? We didn't even get to the last thing before I went off on my tangent.
Yeah, we still have one more archetype. That's all right.
But here's another fairy with flash.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they put the stuff there to have the archetype, but then they just didn't name it for whatever reason, or maybe they didn't feel like they had enough.
Yeah.
To reasonably support that archetype, so they just like were like, well, we're not gonna say we have the whole archetype. So I think if you're drafting, like just like looking at this, I think you could probably get away with like being some sort of like fairies deck. Oh hey, the rare fairy has flash. Oh, no, sorry, it's a merfolk that's rare.
Oh, okay.
But has flash. So, yeah, so it feels like they, it just feels weird.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the Glenalindra Guardian, 2 in a blue for a flash flying, fairy.
Yeah.
So like, almost all the fairies have flash, and then it's just like, yeah, that's not an archetype that we like wrote down. So like, this feels like a trap for, right, especially if you're a new player, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you open up your pre-release kit and this piece of paper greets you, right? You might just be like, well, I'm going to try to play one of these archetypes. And you might kind of ignore the fact that you have like
a pretty killer fairies deck.
Yeah, that you're like, and you're just like, oh yeah, like that's not a supporter archetype. I'm not gonna like look at it that hard.
Yeah.
Or like in draft, like I feel like you could draft a fairies deck.
Yeah.
And like not be embarrassed.
I have
It's very weird.
I have one more weird tangent to go on before we do our last
Okay.
archetype, if that's all right. I mean, we're already on tangents, so.
I can't say no after that whole thing I went through.
So we did our mechanics last episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember talking about Conspire as a mechanic in this set?
No.
Yeah, that's because we didn't. Do you know where Conspire came from? Wasn't that like a random like multiplayer, like Battle Bond or something?
Conspiracy?
It might have been Conspiracy. Yeah, there's one card with Conspire, Raiding Schemes. Each non-creature spell you cast has Conspire. And I don't even know what Conspire does. I gotta read it. As you cast a non-creature spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control that share a color with it. When you do, copy it, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So you tap 2 creatures and you get to copy a non-creature spell. But like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, that's like it's like, why is this here? It's on one like green red.
Yeah.
Rare, right?
Yeah. Raiding Schemes.
It's so weird. Where did it come from? So
it had to be like Battle Bond or Conspiracy or something.
It was introduced in Shadowmoor.
Oh, really?
According
that's right.
To,
Giant Baiting had Conspire, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then last used in Doctor Who, and I think on the MTG wiki, Conspire allows the spell cast to be copied if you tap 2 untapped creatures that share a color with that spell. By 2010, it was considered a design failure.
Yeah.
Well,
it's back now.
It's been used as a one-off on Rally the Galdrum from Lord of the Rings holiday release.
Mm.
So it was one card in the holiday release, and on Rassilin, the War President in Doctor Who. So it has been used. This is the 3rd time it's been used since Shadowmoor. This is the 3rd card that has gotten Conspire since Shadowmoor.
All right.
So weird.
Yeah.
Arena will play it for him. It's fine.
That's right. So we got one last draft archetype here, limited archetype, and this is Elves.
And I feel like you should do it. Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it. It says, harness the cycle of nature to use your graveyard as a resource and overwhelm your opponents. That seems like a very Golgari thing to do.
Very Golgari.
Basic graveyard shenanigans. The signpost we have here is Morkant's Loyalist. 1 black-green for a 3/2 elf warrior. Other elves you control get +1/+1. When this creature dies, return another elf card from your graveyard to your hand. I mean, this kind of tells you what you want to be doing. And this seems like a halfway decent card.
Yeah, put elves in your deck.
Yeah.
And there should be some elves in your graveyard.
Yep. And you'll get to get them back.
Thank you.
You're going to be doing graveyard stuff. This is a much better signpost than some of the others we've looked at, I think.
Agreed. It is not as frustrating as some of them.
Yep.
Yeah, the problem is the green-black graveyard deck often doesn't come together.
Yeah.
Like, this could very easily turn into a green-black elves deck.
Mm-hmm.
Where this is just like a value creature, where you're not so much concerned about doing shenanigans with your graveyard as you just want as many cards that say elf on them as humanly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is a great card to pump them, and then if it dies, you get to buy something back.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Like, the dream is to have 2 of these, and when they kill one, you just get the other one back.
Get the other one back, yeah.
And you're just like, all right, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you made me pay 3 mana to end up in the exact same spot I was in.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Weird. It is weird that you have 2 lords for the types.
Yeah.
And then no other lords. Like, Kithkin feel like they should have a lord.
They should definitely have a lord.
Like at the like that should be their uncommon thing. Is their uncommon guy should just be a lord
Right.
that does that when a creature enters, gives something trample.
Especially if you care about go wide.
Yeah.
Should just be a lord.
I mean, I can see where the elemental one doesn't make sense to be a lord.
Yeah.
But still, it could still be like a lord and have like an additional effect.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels like awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, so green black is the graveyard deck, and if past is prologue, I would not really lean into I'm gonna do the graveyard thing.
Yeah, it's just kind of
it
a
often
bonus.
does not work. Yeah. All right. So do we want to like do like 10, 15 minutes on the cube?
Sure. Yeah, we
All
can
right,
do that.
we're about 50 some odd minutes in. Gonna give the people a little bit more here.
Yep.
So, they made changes to the cube for the second go around. It's been up for a week. It'll probably be up till, if you're listening to this, next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like right before the new set comes out, like Monday or Tuesday.
That would be my guess.
And so they made some of the changes that we had talked about. They made some other ones, but they made some of the ones we talked about. So one of the goals that we had for like the cube when we talked about it was to make Boros less good.
Mm-hmm.
And so they took out a bunch of the 1-drops that just were like 1-drops for the sake of 1-drops.
Mm-hmm.
So like Guide of Souls, which I feel like you could have left like it's of the right power level and just taking something else out. But they took out Guide of Souls, they took out Kithian,
Yep.
and Lightstall Inquisitor. Like, hey, here are just 2 Savannah Lions with upside.
Yep.
For reasons. We don't need those. They took out Luminarch Aspirant, like just a very good 2-drop, and Luminarch and Voice of Victory, which I was a little surprised. But like when I looked at it, I was like, is this card like cube power level?
Yeah. Was
like my question, and like these are, but like Split Skin Doll, we had mentioned like that should not be here. It's like dumb.
Yep.
Like, and then some 3-drops. They did take out Sanguine Evangelist, the 3-mana 2/1 that makes a 1/1, and then the 2/1 dies into another 1/1.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I do believe, the single highest win rate card in the entire cube.
Yeah. I am kind of surprised they took out Skyclave Apparition, though.
Yeah. Like, that feels like it could be good against, like, those kind of things.
Well,
so what did
like,
they bring in?
That's a card that would, like, make you want to play, like, a slower white deck, though.
Yes. But what did they bring in? So they brought in Cloud Midgard Mercenary. So a thing to support, like, equipment matters. So I actually, in Discord, I posted a 7-win red-white deck.
Yeah.
That had Cloud and Stoneforge Mystic.
Yeah, that was a pretty gross deck.
And it had, what is it called? Skull Clamp.
Yep.
And Batterskull. And
yep.
I think maybe I played the Lightning Greaves.
Yeah, Lightning Greaves. Yep.
Right. But it had a couple cheap things for Cloud to get in the early game. And, like, if you Skull Clamp a Cloud, you just draw 3 cards. Like, Cloud with Skull Clamp is pay 4 mana, draw 3 cards.
Yeah, so one thing we should probably mention is one of the things that they wanted to do with these changes was add Universes Beyond cards, where there weren't any before. So obviously Cloud is
they want to
UB.
Add Universes Beyond cards and try to put in cards that supported other archetypes.
Yeah. That
did different things. So they brought in Samwise the Stouthearted that when it enters, it returns a permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. So kind of like white ramp with a fetch land, or like another draw with like a Mishra's Bauble kind of deal. And just like, a creature died, you get to get it back. Anointed Peacekeeper, that was one that I suggested you could put in.
Yep.
Like, I wanted to swap it for like whatever the 3-mana 3/3 within web.
Mm-hmm.
But those are both now in there.
Yep.
Ranger Captain of Eos, like a 3-mana 3/3. Like, they brought the curve of white up.
Yeah, Ranger Captain's kind of weird though when you cut a bunch of 1-drops also though.
Yeah. But they Steel Seraph, which had been in older versions of like the Vintage Cube. That's the prototype card that like
Mm-hmm.
is a 1 white for like a 3/3, or it's like 6 mana for like a 5/5 flyer that gives abilities to creatures.
Yeah.
Uh, Dion Bahamas Dominant, right? 4 mana for a 3/3 that makes it 2/2 that like has extra text, and then like 2 Wraths,
Mm-hmm.
Day of Judgment and Ultima, and then Timeless Dragon, which goes and gets a plains, and then Eagles of the North, which goes and gets like a plains as well. Like Eagles of the North, like the 1 mana Lord of the Rings cycling cards,
Yeah.
are like cube staples because they allow you to run a lower land count.
So they put them all in.
They're all in.
Okay.
So like I had a deck that had Eagles and Day of Judgment.
Yeah.
No, sorry, Eagles and Oliphant. Gosh,
Yep.
Eagles and Oliphant. So like I played like 15 lands because I had these 2 things that like got me my second land.
Yeah.
And I won a game because I had an Oliphant and I played it when the game went late as opposed to it being a mountain.
Being a mountain, yeah.
And the deck with the Greaves, I played an Eagles of the North and put a Greaves on it and killed my opponent.
Yeah.
Right, so like just having them is good to like cut your land counts. Blue, they didn't like kill too much. Like blue was fine. They got rid of Duelist of the Mind. Like that card's like kind of a questionable cube card.
Mm-hmm.
Sink in the Stupor. Like LSVs against these, he feels like they're just like not good enough on either side.
Yeah.
Thirst for Discovery, like whatever, who cares? Like it was weird to get rid of Sleight of Hand, but some things have to go.
Yep.
And then Dress Down, also not great.
Right.
And they brought in Astrologian's Planisphere, like the equipment that like puts counters on things when you cast spells. Weishi Tongue Librarian, is that the Flash blue X1?
I believe so, yeah.
Stern Scolding, more interaction for cheap creatures to help hold Boros in check.
Mm-hmm.
Lorwyn Revealed, 1 mana cycler, and then Fresh Start, removal spell to help hold aggro decks in check. So like a lot of these changes were geared to holding the aggro decks in check in blue.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of what they did in blue here was just make room basically for some UB cards.
Mm-hmm. As well, like if that's what they were doing, I can see that.
Yeah.
There was nothing super egregious that got changed in black.
Yeah.
They did cut Dreams of Steel and Oil because that card just always feels bad when you cast it.
Yep.
And they did get rid of Dark Depths because they cut Vampire Hexmage. So that was sad.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad
again,
that they're on Arena now, though.
Yes. I mean, that is... I have that deck all built. I've played it a reasonable amount as, like...
Yep.
Hey, I'm going to... But, like, you know, I feel like I owe Merit Lage my full attention so those games go longer because I'm, like, actually thinking. So, like, the big things is they brought in Orcish Bowmasters, right?
Yeah.
That supports... that's another draw 7 Punisher to kind of support that deck. They brought in Sephiroth for like I guess a sacrifice deck. I don't know if there's enough other pieces to make that work.
Yeah, I'm
but
not
they
sure.
at least brought him in. Trollicaza Doom, which fixes your mana and is a 6/5 reanimation target.
Right.
That basically can't be blocked.
Mm-hmm. Damnation.
Damnation, again, slow down aggro decks. Unmarked Grave is the Entomb for non-legendaries, right?
Yep.
And then Fire Nation Occupation, like I've seen it kicking around an LSV's cube. It's the when you cast a spell on your opponent's turn, enchantment, you make a 2/2. He's not happy with it in his cube. I've played 5 drafts. I've not seen the card
Haven't seen
played. And then for red, this is again, we had talked about like how about we cut some of the like
generic 1 and 2 drops.
Yeah, so Hired Claw went away. Kellen went away. Dragonautics Engineer, Kari Zev Skyship Raider.
Yep.
Went away, and then They even went deeper and cut some of the 3-drops. So
Oh man, they cut Rabble Master.
Rabble Master. I think Rabble Master is one I said you could cut. Cause, like, it made me sad, but it didn't feel like a cube power level card.
Yeah.
And it also like didn't support anything else. So one of the things they want to do, I think we mentioned, is put red and white cards in the cube that make you want to do not curve out aggro.
Right.
So Rabble Master really encourages you to do curve out aggro.
Right.
And then they cut Gut, True Soul Zealot, which that card like feels cube power level to me. So like it feels like it could be there, but if you want to make sure that red's not too good, like cutting Gut helps with that.
Yeah, and they cut Kumano faces, Kazakh Khan.
And Goblin Bombardment, I guess that's its main use is eating the cat from a Johnny.
Yeah.
And then being a red permanent for then a Johnny to dome you when he makes the cat.
Oh, they didn't cut a Johnny though.
No, a Johnny's still there.
Yeah.
Like,
that's weird.
I had a Johnny that I skull clamped the cat. Oh yeah.
Huh.
So like this makes a Johnny a little worse without having to cut a Johnny, I guess.
I thought for sure they were gonna cut a Johnny though.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's like you could have left like Voice of Victory in and cut a Johnny. You could have like Luminarch Aspirant. There are things that could have like a Johnny is like the most powerful 2-drop.
Yeah.
And then the cards they put in of note, Amped Raptor, like just like generic good kind of value card.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they put Amped Raptor in when they took out Guide of Souls though.
Yeah, like I feel like you could have kept Guide of Souls and cut another 1-drop.
Yeah.
But and they brought in Embereth Shieldbreaker.
Ooh, Angie's Ravager.
Yeah, I played that. I played with it and against it. It was okay. Like it died.
Well,
when I played it, but
the reason, like, I'm excited that it's on Arena now, though.
Oh yeah, we could start to put together like madness.
Yeah.
Oliphant. I don't think Redirect Lightning is good enough.
Yeah.
But it is a borderline cube card that is in the current, most recently released set. So, welcome to the cube, buddy.
Right.
And then Suplex. Green. Nothing like.
Cut Primetime and Crop Rot.
Well, people feel like Crop Rotation is there just for
Dark Depths
stage. So, like, if you cut Depth Stage, like, yeah.
That's true.
Like, Primetime, I feel like, should have stayed. Like, that's a cube card.
Well, so I'm kind of mixing them up here, but they added Tifa. Like, that's kind of weird to cut Crop Rot in Primetime when you add Tifa.
Yeah, they added Tifa, and was there another, like...
Badger... no, not Badger Mole.
No, I thought there was... Well, there's Bristly Bill as well.
Yeah.
And the Scythe Cup. So there's, like, the 3 landfall things. So it kind of feels like you want Crop Rotation to, like, go get a fetch land and go off. I can see cutting up the Beanstalk. And Survival of the Fittest is probably just too slow for modern cubing.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. Again, things have to go, but, like, I don't know. Pick your poison. Like, Cheap Interaction is probably better than Seismic Sense. Corsa could go. Outland Liberator is fine. They did bring in Avatar Kyoshi, Earthbender, the one that we talked about that, like, makes all of your lands creatures and has hexproof.
Yeah.
So, like, that was fun. I not got to do it, but it's like it's a different reanimation target. Colorless.
No, they cut all the Titans and the Talismans.
They cut half the Talismans. Right, or they cut
They
four
cut 4
of
of
10.
them, yeah.
So they left, like... So... Impulse is red-white? Or is that red-green?
I thought Impulse was red-blue.
Maybe it is red-blue. But they cut, like, some of them. And they cut all the Titans. Because, like, you just couldn't get there with with sneak attack without them.
Yeah.
Without like
Impulse is
through the
red green.
breach.
You were right.
Okay. And they cut Sword of Fire and Ice.
Okay.
Which, fine.
I mean, that's a pretty
I mean,
staple card, though, right?
yeah, it is. And they put in Summon Bahamut, which I guess is a reanimation target. And, like, a reasonable thing to, like, sneak in. They put in the One Ring.
Yep.
Which, I got the Fractured Identity around One Ring.
Ooh.
It was nice. That One Ring won me the game. As I drew, like, 4 cards. And then I was like, oh, I should just sack this to something. Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Palantir of Orthonk, the, like... You get the scry 2, and then your opponent either mills you and takes damage, or that you get to draw a card.
Yeah, that card's
and I
a
have
beating.
no idea what Andro Flame of the West is.
It's a sword that does a Geist impression. Doesn't it make spirits? Maybe,
yeah. I think I read that card and went like, oh, that's bad. Why is this here?
Equipped creature gets +3/+1 whenever equipped creature attacks. Put 2 tapped 1/1 weight spirit tokens with flying, and if that creature is legendary, you make 3 tokens. Or no, you still put 2 in, but they're attacking.
Okay. So it's like fine.
Yep.
But it doesn't seem great. For multicolored, there was nothing like super offensive. In the multicolored cards, they cut Knight of the Reliquary.
Which kind of makes sense when you're cutting some of the lands package.
Yeah. And then Dam, which I guess fine.
Yeah, I mean, they put in enough other rads. I don't think you really need Dam.
And then Omnath, Locus of Creation. Like, Omnath isn't a bad cube card, but I don't think it's like super good.
Yeah.
And like Bloodbraid Elf, rest in peace.
Sorry, buddy.
And then they put in Boomy Unleashed, the 3 red-green Earthbend 4, and then if it like deals damage, it's a 5/4, and if it deals damage to your opponent, you get to untap and attack with your creature lands. I think that fills the new set card that maybe is cube borderline.
Yeah.
And then Arwen, the 1 white green 2/2 that has an indestructible counter that you can move.
Oh yeah.
That like you take it off, put it on something, and that thing gets like indestructible and lifelink or something.
Yeah, I forgot what that card did.
VV, which is very much a cube power level card.
Witherbloom command.
Witherbloom.
That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah, like I guess it like kills a thing, but yeah, it's not.
It's
not
also
great.
some self mill, I guess, if you're doing graveyardy stuff.
Yeah, Joshua Phoenix Dominant, which I had in a couple decks. It's fine. Like we have, like it's hard because you have Fable the Mirror Breaker that kind of does that, and you have Torsten? Not Torsten. The 2 in a red like 3/3 haste discard 2 from Dragonstorm.
Yep.
Kefka. Fine, and then Sin Spear's Punishment. I reanimated that a few times. Good times. Good times. My reanimation decks weren't... I did 1 reanimation deck, and it was... I guess it was my 5-color stuff deck, I do believe. Like, it like had some reanimation, but it also was just like a pile of like weird things. And it went like 4/3, so better than a lot of my reanimator decks that I've played. Like decks that had reanimate in them.
And then some of these lands are weird. So they cut depths. We talked about that, and I guess if depths goes, stage goes. But like Fabled Passage and Takanuma, like those seem like cards you would want in a cube.
Yes. Like I think those two, like I know Arena of Glory went because it supported the red deck for free.
Yeah.
Right. And like cheaply. Abandoned Air Temple, I played that in like 1 or 2 decks. I activated it a couple times. It takes 4 to activate, so like it's more of a late game thing. I don't think Bossing Say is good enough. The one that makes tutus in this green
I
and
mean,
like Starting
Starting
Town
Town's a welcome addition.
A plus edition. Like
Yeah.
that should have been there.
Yeah.
And like Yavimaya leaving, I think Yavimaya, Thespian Stage, and Dark Depths go together.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Where like, hey, Yavimaya, let's Dark Depths tap for mana.
Yep.
So if those make sense to go away, but I agree. Like you could keep Takenuma and Fabled Passage.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's kind of weird that they cut
so,
those.
like most of the changes make sense for like what the cube was of before.
Mm-hmm.
And then some things I think you are right where they were like, well, we can put in like some Universes Beyond cards to like make people happy when they see them.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know, interchangeable with cards that are in the cube.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because there's definitely some cards that are like, that like were borderline, and it's like, well, I could be this borderline card or this borderline Universes Beyond card.
Yeah.
And it lets the cube play a little bit different, right? As opposed to just like always having Enduring Innocence in there. It's like, oh, we can put in Dion Bahamut's Dominant and just have a little bit different thing going on. So, like, that seems reasonable. So yeah, I think overall the improvements, the changes make sense and are probably an improvement.
Well, you said you played it some, right? Does it play any better than it did?
Well, my first red-white deck I thought was great.
Well, I didn't ask you if you did better. I asked you if the cube played better. There's a difference there.
Yeah. There wasn't as much. It didn't feel like you were playing against Boros every single time.
Yeah.
So like that was a welcome change. And there were a lot more openings of like tap land go.
Okay, that's good.
You know, tap shock or something. So like
slowed things down a little bit.
It felt a little more mid-rangey.
Yeah.
But like you still had the ability to draft a red-white like aggressive deck. It wasn't like they just like took it totally off the table.
Yeah.
But like I put it in Discord and you just looked at it. Like I had a red-white deck, but it had Sarah Paragon, right? And Dion Bahamut's Dominant in it.
Yeah.
It didn't. Now, granted, it also had a Mana Crypt, which made those things easier to cast. Right. And an Ancient Tomb. We weren't messing around.
Yeah.
But my point being, even like without those, right? I didn't just have a bunch of one-drop creatures that were like nuts. Like I had 0 one-drop creatures in this deck.
Yeah.
Where previously there were so many one-drops, you always got like 3 or 4 Savannah Lions with like, 2025 text on them.
Right.
Where I had a deck, so it was a red aggressive deck, but it like leaned a little bigger because it had some fast mana.
Mm-hmm.
And a Mock Sapphire. But the deck was But point being, like, it just wasn't like 5 1-drops, 5 2-drops, and like, a handful of 3-drops. It was like I went up to 4. I had I think I drafted Stoneforge Mystic once out of 40 something drafts the last time.
Yeah.
And like I was happy to have a Stoneforge Mystic because it felt like it like got me ahead and did what I wanted a Stoneforge Mystic to do.
Right.
It didn't feel like it was too slow.
Yep, that's good.
So, and I've been taking the mana cyclers really high because they fix your mana. They give you, they give you a bailout.
Yep.
Late in the game. So like at my F&M, my local store this past Friday, guy was like, well, I have this Boggart, he's talking to someone across the store, I have this Boggart Trawler, and I think I'm just going to put it in my sideboard because, I don't think the graveyard stuff really matters. And I was like, you're playing black? And he's like, yeah. I said, so you just play Boggart Trawler instead of a Swamp.
Right.
So if you draw it late in the game, and someone else is like, stop it, I know you're right, but don't help him. Stop it. But like in the land cyclers do the same thing. They let you
Right.
cut a land to be able to have more gas late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like a welcome addition. So all in all, like I was pretty happy with how the cube played out thus far. Like I said, I'm not gonna have 40 drafts in like I did last time, so I won't have as big of a sample.
Yeah.
But all in all, I think it played pretty all right, and it did feel a little bit more mid rangey, and that there was a little bit more play to it, which is I think what you want in the cube.
I agree. Sounds like it was the right changes.
Yeah. So with that, I think we got a show.
I think we got a show.
So if you have cards you want us to talk about in terms of like single card evaluations, if it's like, hey, is this a good limited card? Hey, like, what about 60 card constructed? Because that's kind of more where our wheelhouse is.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you're like, hey, is this like an okay commander card? We might be able to figure that one out. Or, I guess after our last like 25 minutes of talking, hey, would this like make sense in the arena cube?
Sure.
Right? Is this a card that, could raise to the level of card that we're going to put in the cube to be the cool new card? Or is it like a card that could be in there for a long time? Let us know. Facebook, Discord, X, Twitter, Blue Sky, email, all those things. Links in the description. Come in, say hey, let us know.
Absolutely. Yeah, for any reason, if there's any cards you want us to talk about for any reason, or if you don't have a reason and just want us to talk about them, hit us up. We would appreciate it. If you want to support the show, you can do so via our Patreon, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Surf on over there, chip a couple bucks in. Patrons get access to my show notes, so you get a sneak peek about what the episode's going to be about for the week. And you also get access to our unshow, roughly another hour of content out of us every week, completely unscripted and unedited. We don't ever know what we're going to talk about, so you don't ever know what we're going to talk about. If either of those things sound good to you, or if you just want to support the show, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG.
So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We will catch you on the internets.